Today we are going to build the strongest DPS in the game. No one comes close to her in terms of physical damage in the whole Teyvat. Genshin Impact was released in 2020, and till this date, she is the strongest DPS that the game has to offer. No Kazuha, no Bennett, no Nihida, no Zhongli. She can do solo 100k on her own, at C0, and with a 4-star weapon. She is just built different. So let's get into it. Today we are going to build Eula Lawrence. Her kit is balanced and every talent is connected, but the first talent you need to level up is her elemental burst. When she uses her elemental burst, she deals cryo damage to nearby opponents, and she will create a light fall sword that will stay with her for 7 seconds. At level 10, her light fall sword's base damage is 725.6%, and damage per stack is 148.2%. The light fall sword increases Eula's resistance to interruption, and when Eula deals damage to opponents with normal attack, elemental skill, and elemental burst, it will charge the light fall sword, which can gain an energy stack once every 0.1 seconds, and the maximum stacks Eula can get is 30. That means every attack from Eula that deals damage to opponents will charge her light fall sword. Once 7 seconds is over, the light fall sword will descend and explode violently, dealing physical damage to nearby opponents. And that damage will scale on the number of energy stacks the light fall sword has accumulated. And if she uses her elemental burst and leaves the field, the light fall sword will explode immediately. Her elemental burst has cooldown of 20 seconds and it costs 80 energy. And if you look at her skill attributes, it's very simple. The more light fall stacks she has, the more damage she will do. At C0, you can't really reach 30 stacks, but even at C0, her damage is incredible. As you can see, she has a little sword near her. That is light fall sword, and with every attack it will charge. She is C0 and she did 169,000 without any support, and with just a 4-star weapon. So the next talent you need to level up is normal attack, because she deals nothing but physical damage, so it's very important as well. You must level it up. Her normal attacks can deal damage up to 20,000, and there are many characters that can't deal that much damage even with elemental skill. So, just like her elemental burst, you need to level it up as well. The next talent you need to level up is her elemental skill. If you press her elemental skill, she will deal quick cryo damage to opponents, and she will gain 1 stack of Grimheart. You can stack it up to 2 times, and these stacks can only be gained once every 0.3 seconds. Grimheart buff can last for 18 seconds, and when you have Grimheart, her defense and resistance to interruption will increase. Her defense will increase by 30% per stack, and with 2 stacks, you can increase her defense by 60%. And if you hold her elemental skill, she will deal cryo damage, and if she has Grimheart stacks, Eula will consume all the stacks and deal AoE cryo damage. When Grimheart stacks are consumed, surrounding opponents will have their physical and cryo resistance decrease by 24%, and that will last for 7 seconds. In simple words, if you press her element skill twice before using hold mode, she will deal more damage. Her press has a cooldown of 4 seconds, and hold has 10 seconds cooldown. This is how it works. Her defense is 795 now. After 1 press skill, it's 1020 and now she has 1 stack of Grimheart. And now after 2 times her defense is 1245, and now she has 2 stacks of Grimheart. If you are not sure about whether her Grimheart is active or not, then you can know that by looking at her cape. If Grimheart is not active, her cape will look normal, but once you activate it, her cape will start to shine. Her elemental skill is connected to her normal attacks and elemental burst, so you also need to level it up. Her first passive talent is about her elemental skill. If you have 2 stacks of Grimheart, and you use her element skills holding mode, a shattered light fall sword will be created that will explode immediately. It will deal 50% basic physical damage of your elemental burst's light fall sword. This is a very good passive talent because her elemental burst takes time to get full, but with this talent, opponents will be dead before your element burst is full. This is how it works. Now we have 2 stacks of Grimheart. As you can see, monsters can't knock Eula down if she has Grimheart, and if you hold her skill now, she will deal light fall damage to this robot. So that's how this passive works. If you use her elemental burst, her elemental skills cooldown will be over, and she will gain 1 stack of Grimheart. Now this looks very basic passive, but it's not, because every stack Eula gets for light fall sword, it will deal more damage. Each stack at level 10 of her elemental burst deals 148.2% damage. So that's why this passive may look basic, but it's not. When you use Eula for crafting character talent material, she has a 10% chance to receive double the product. Now let's talk about her constellation. her C1 is connected to her elemental skill buff, Grimheart. When she consumes Grimheart's stack, her physical damage will increase by 30% for 6 seconds. Each stack consumed will increase the duration of this effect by 6 seconds. The maximum time you can increase this way is 18 seconds. It's very simple but effective. Her C2 will decrease the cooldown of her elemental skills holding mode. Its cooldown will become the same as press, probably 4 seconds. Now, this might not look much, but this is a great consolation, because if you use this, you'll almost always have a Grimheart bonus, since her C1 gives 30% physical damage after you consume Grimheart stacks. Once you use Grimheart buff, she will always have 30% increased physical damage on her. Since the cooldown is low, you can get more stacks for Lightfall Sword in her elemental burst. C3 will increase the talent level of her elemental burst by 3. At C4, her Lightfall Sword will do 25% more damage to opponents with less than 50% health. I will say this again, these constellations look basic, and they would work normally as well if they weren't Eula's constellation. Her Lightfall Sword is like Goku's Kaioken technique, but it's even better than Kaioken, because at level 10, each stack doesn't increase damage by 100% like Goku's Kaioken does, but it increases her damage by 148%. And once she uses her elemental burst, the Lightfall Sword takes 7 seconds to explode, and with the power of her previous constellations, every monster will have lower health than 50%. So, even if these constellations look basic, they are very effective. C5 will increase her elemental skill talent level by 3. Her 6th constellation is called Noble Obligation. At C6, her Lightfall Sword will have 5 stacks from the start. Not only that, but her every normal attack, elemental skill, and elemental burst will have a 50% chance to grant the Lightfall Sword an additional stack of energy. With her C6, you can actually get 30 stacks with some support, but again, even if you have 20 stacks, you will do more damage than 1 million. She is just simply that strong, so this is the strongest constellation in her kit. Just you know, if you have her at C6, you don't have to worry about Abyss. If it's single boss, it will be dead before you know it. She is the strongest physical damage dealer walking on Celestia's green Teyvat. Now, let's talk about artifacts. There aren't many artifact sets that she can use. She can only use 3 artifact sets for now. So I will show each of those sets, and how they work. We will start with her best artifact first, Pale Flame. This is your best choice. This artifact set works great with her elemental burst, and this will be her solo damage showcase. Alhaitham and Barbara are there for emotional support. Here, she is C0, and with a 4-star free weapon. So she did 160,000 damage with this set. Like I said, there is no one like her in terms of physical damage. The next set we are gonna use is Bloodstained Chivalry. This set is also good for her, but this set buffs her normal attacks, not her elemental burst like Pale Flame.
Vengeance will be mine. Shudder. I condemn you.
So she did 123,000 damage. It's not bad at all, but it's 37,000 less than Pale Flame. The next set we are going to use is the Gladiator set. This set increases your normal attack damage by 35%.
Blood of Frost. Crush. You. Rack and ruin.
It did 115,000. Again, this is her solo damage. We are not using any buffs. So these were the 4-piece artifact sets she can use. Now we will try 2-piece combination. This is a simple combination, 2 pieces for more attack and 2 pieces for physical damage. You can use this combination if you don't have a 4-piece set.
For mercy.
Now she has done 122,000. Until now, no artifact set did more than a solo Pale Flame set. Maybe the next combination will do it. The next set we are going to use is 2 pieces of Pale Flame and 2 pieces of Bloodstained Chivalry for more physical damage, and now we have 142.8% physical damage. Now, let's see how this works. She did 164,000 now. That's 4,000 more than Pale Flame. So these are the artifact sets and combinations you can use for her. She can do more than 100k damage easily with a 4-star weapon at C0. So you need to go for 55 to 60 for crit rate, and for crit damage if it's more than 150. It will be enough for her to do solo 100,000 damage. And you need to have a good attack. You need to have more attack than 1600. Other than it, you don't have to worry about anything else. You can have 0 elemental mastery for her. She doesn't need it. There are not any other characters who can do 100k this easily. With only this much critical value at C0 with no support, she is the only one. If Madara Uchiha was in a Genshin Impact, he would probably say this.
Of all those who have fought me over the years, there's no one who surpasses you at taijutsu! I, Madra, declare that you are the strongest of them all!
Let's move to the next part of this video. I will show you different weapons work with the Pale Flame set. The first weapon will be the Snow Tuned, since it's free and you can craft as many as you want.
Vengeance will be mine. Rack and ruin.
Now she did 157,000. The next weapon is also free and you can craft it as well. It gives more attack.
Flood of frost. Eye for an eye.
Now she has done 141,000. It's not bad at all. The next weapon is the Tuna Fish. Its passive is good for Eula. Its passive increases elemental damage by 24%. She did 138,000 now. It's less than the R1 prototype. The next weapon is the Sacrificial Greatsword. She does have an energy recharge problem, but it's just attack and physical damage matters more. She actually did 135,000. It's not bad at all. You can try it if you want, but Snow Tuned is better. If you have Serpent Spine or Black Cliff, then you can use those as well, since both of those weapons give crit value as sub-status. Now we will go with the only 5-star Claymore I have, and that's all we need. With this, we have 266% crit damage. That's a lot.
Vengeance will be mine. Rack and ruin.
She did 163,000. If you have this weapon you can use it. If you have her signature weapon, Song of Broken Pines, then you can use it. If you have any 5-star weapon that gives attack and crit value as sub-status, then feel free to use it, because it will do great damage. Now, let's move to the last part of this video. I will show you what kind of teams she can use. So, Eula is like no other DPS, 4-team combination. What she needs is characters that can help her increase her normal or elemental burst damage or physical damage. For example, Mona can help with increasing your elemental burst damage, so you can use her with Eula. The best team for her is this. This whole team is for support her. First look at elemental resonance effects. With 2 cryo in a party, you will have more 15% crit value if opponents are frozen or affected by cryo. Eula's burst applies cryo to opponents when she uses it, but if you have Rosaria in a party, her elemental burst will apply to opponents till it lasts. So that way, you will have 15% more crit rate for Eula when you use her burst. And for Raiden Shogun, her elemental skill can apply Electro for a while, and if you mix Cryo and Electro, opponents will have their physical resistance decrease. That is good for Eula and her elemental burst, and when Rosaria uses her elemental burst, all the party members' crit rate is increased by 15% of Rosaria's maximum crit rate for 10 seconds. Little things like these give buff to Eula, and she can do incredible damage with it. Let me show you how this party works. Remember what I said about her C4, that once her elemental burst is going on, opponent's health will go under 50%. Before exploding her Lightfall sword. Now she is C0 and look at this boss's health. It almost died even before her Lightfall sword exploded. And she did 403,000 damage. We are not using any potion or food buff, just team party buff. If you think it's because of a 5-star weapon and a Raiden Shogun, then the next weapon and team will change your mind. Now we are going to use Snow Tuned and Kuki for applying Electro. Now she did 325,000, and her Grimheart did 50,000. Once her elemental burst is active with the party, it will be over for anyone in the open world, and that is a fact. Now, if you don't have Kuki or Raiden, then you can go with us because us can also apply Electro off-field for Eula. And if, just like me, you didn't level her up, you can choose Beto instead. You can go with any Electro character that can apply Electro off-field for Eula. You can even use Lisa if you want, since her burst stays for a while, that will help Eula. If you have Zhongli, then you can also use him because his shield decreases the physical resistance of opponents by 20%. And as long you have his shield, Eula will not take any damage. So for teams, you can go with these element combo, or character that can help Eula increase her attack and physical damage. Her kit and constellation may look simple, but she is simply too strong. People in Mondstadt may despise her, and many will argue that her gameplay is boring, and that they lose interest in her, but they are all forced to acknowledge it, that she is one of the greatest DPS that the game has to offer. The only thing Eula can say to her haters is this.
You there, lowly toiler. You stand in the presence of a member of the illustrious Lawrence clan. I have words for you. Please acknowledge the glory bestowed upon thee by the nobility, and solemnly kneel to the ground with utmost sincerity. Huh? Why don't you respond? According to the custom, I must wait until you kneel completely before I can say the next words. Ah, right. I mustn't look at you too long, or I'll be drawing more attention to our difference in status. Oh dear, I've already stared at you for quite a while.
If you liked the video, make sure to subscribe. I will see you again in the next Genshin Impact guide video.